Hello, everyone. This is the Manatee Group. Our agenda over the next few days consists of 4 sessions. Session 1, we'll be discussing community outreach education. In Session 2, we'll have an interest meeting. Session 3, we'll have a meet and greet section with some networking opportunity in there for everybody. And Session 4, to conclude, we'll be discussing a host community event. My name is Chuck, and I'll be playing the member role. Courtney will be playing the role of the guest speaker. Evan will be playing the role of the facilitator. And Esther will be playing the role of another quiet member in the group. So without further ado, let's begin Session 1.
All right. Hey, guys. It's nice to join you guys in discussing the Community Outreach Program. We have an extra guest with us today who agreed to be our guest speaker for our sessions. She will be helping us brainstorm. Let's all say hi to Courtney.
Hi, Courtney.
Hey, Courtney.
Hey. Hey, guys. I'm Courtney, and I think I have an idea on where to start. I think we need to get others to understand what community outreach is. Many people don't partake in activities because they are unaware. Have you guys had an experience when you missed an event because you didn't know about it?
That happens to me all the time. I don't find out until after the program.
Anyone else?
Esther, what about you? You seem awfully quiet.
It happens to me too.
So do any of you know what community is? Like, what do you think about when you think about your community?
I think about my neighbors. I guess a community are people who are close in proximity.
Good thought, Chuck. I see my neighbors as part of my community too. We have community yard sales and pool parties.
I kind of think of community as people who are near, but I also think of community as a group of people that are alike. I live in a neighborhood where there aren't a lot of people my age, so it doesn't feel like a community to me.
Great. You guys touched on some good points about proximity and feeling like a community, and both thoughts are correct. That brings me to the thought that Esther had about not feeling like a community. And so that is because everyone is impacted by community events. This program and these events can impact anyone who is involved, regardless of if you're an older adult, a minority, a parent, and so on. Community events can be geared towards any and everyone, and we should use our program to bring people together, to help people feel a sense of unity.
So how do we get the word out so others can get involved? Esther, you have some good ideas. Would you like to share?
Sure, I think flyers would be a great idea. Flyers are colorful and have all the information in one place.
I think that's a good idea. I also think promoting by social media would work. We are often on our phones anyway. Maybe we could send an email or share a website. That way, if anyone has questions, we can answer it promptly.
Word of mouth is also an excellent way to get the word out. Talk about the Outreach Program Center as much as you can. Talk about the benefits like fun, volunteer hours, and networking. Plenty of people love volunteering, like sororities, fraternities, and clubs.
Okay, so how about someone make a website for our events and someone else make some flyers?
Sounds good.
Okay, that completes Session 1. So now let's begin Session 2.
So we spent some time discussing how to get the word out. So let's talk about what to do when people are interested.
Maybe an interest meeting. We could include what we talked about earlier, like what is a community and why is it important?
I think we should also include how the volunteers can benefit from it as well.
Excellent work and good ideas. What about you, Courtney?
Well, people who don't have a sense of community end up getting one. If people are consistently volunteering and familiar faces are always present, then we build a community without even living close by.
That's good. We can also bring pictures and videos and stories of experiences we've had in the past.
I love these ideas. These will all be included in our interest meeting. In my field, we practice something called community reintegration, which is the process of integrating someone back into their community. Community is just that important that we treat clients for it. There are things that people get from the community that they may not get in their home or school life. Maybe they need some sort of support. Maybe they need friendship or comfort. And like we mentioned before, maybe they even need a sense of unity. The point is that community outreach has a lot to offer. So we need to get potential volunteers to see that community involvement is important like we do.
This concludes Session 2. Session 3.
So for the interest meeting, we talk about what we do. How about a meet and greet to talk about who we are. We can have donors and companies come out and people can network. College students would love that opportunity.
We can have sororities and fraternities, maybe even the dean and the chancellor.
I think bringing people that potential volunteers want to see is smart. This way they can directly see how they benefit.
This concludes session 3. Session 4.
How about we get them all engaged in our program?
How can we get them engaged this soon? Aren't we still trying to recruit?
Chuck, you seem a little confused. Courtney, can you elaborate on your thoughts a little more?
Sure. I mean that our potential volunteers can engage in our program, not as volunteers, but as receivers. We could plan a program that they could also benefit from.
So what you're saying is that we can plan a program geared toward the volunteers, and then they will see how much they benefited from it and be more inclined to do that for others.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, but I think this is a bad idea. We're in way over our heads, guys.
Chuck, do you care to explain a little more about that?
If we need more volunteers, aren't we putting ourselves in a bad spot? We already had to slow down because of the lack of volunteers. There's too much room for mistakes.
What mistakes are you worried about?
What if we don't have enough food, activities, or resources? What if people get bored or we plan it on a bad day?
So, Chuck, it sounds like you're worried that people might outweigh our resources or that people may not have as much fun as we think due to weather, boredom, or a bad choice in activities and food.
Exactly. It just seems too risky.
Okay. Do you have any ideas to fix these problems, Esther?
I do. We need someone to be in charge of the festivities and advertising, someone in charge of the props and food, and 2 people in charge of the budget. We're all college students. We know that not many people have morning classes, and those that do most likely wish they didn't. We also know that people gather around the cafeteria on warm days. Let's observe students for the next couple of days and see where to plan and what they like to eat.
I guess that works. But where do we even start?
We need someone to be in charge of festivities, like what events and activities will be in place.
I do not know what I can do. I would prefer not to do anything that I have to speak a lot.
You may not want to speak, but you have so many great ideas, and we need as many as we can get, so that's a big help.
Yeah, and you're on campus the most of all of us. Your roommates are also in sororities. I think if you start advertising it to them, they can help. You also have many years of volunteering, so you think of good activities that people our age would like.
I guess I can give it a try.
We can give you help if you need any. So Esther will be brainstorming on activities and events, plus advertising. Chuck, what are you interested in?
I can work on food and props. I can ask for donations of props for games and make sure that we leave with the same amount.
Sounds good. Chuck, maybe you can reach out to the food trucks that often come to campus during events. I'm sure that they bring the same trucks that people love the most. And Evan and I can work on the budget and help out wherever we're needed.
Okay, so I'm on activities and location. Courtney's the guest speaker. Chuck is on resources and food. And Courtney and I are on budget and help. Does that sound good to everyone?
Yes.
Sounds
Sounds
good.
like a plan. Good to me. This concludes session 4.